So the politics of this show, I think, so it's like this is what's interesting with they're doing things at a few different levels. So the Logan's brother, I'm gonna look up his name because it's important.
Ewan, is it
Ewan,
Ewan?
that's
Yeah,
right. It's spelled Ewan. Okay, so Ewan. Okay,
because they're
so
Scottish.
yeah. So he is like, so I said that Greg is like supposed to be the viewer, but I also think Ewan is sort of the viewer too, because when he goes off on Logan a few times about like you're literally, he says at one point, I don't know if he doesn't, I don't think he says it to his face, he says it to somebody else, like you're literally going to kill more people than Hitler because like you deny global warming on your
Yeah.
stations, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so like I think that's supposed to be the viewer too. He's like the principal, like for old prophet, like maybe he's like the angel on Greg's shoulder saying like don't compromise with evil, like because conservatives are evil, which I think is like sort of the message of the show, but it's not beating you over the head with it. And you're supposed to observe these people and you find them much more interesting than liberals. There's the episode which where they go to the Pierces, which is like a liberal family, right? They're trying to buy
Mm-hmm.
out the liberal family. I think when you watch that episode, you know that you're never going to want to watch a show about the Pierces. They're just not interesting, right? They're just like they everything's understated. They go get their PhDs in whatever Africana studies. They want to do good journalism. They have like conventional views. Like they don't like the men are not too masculine, the women are not too feminine. Like there's just a general androgyny to it. Like they probably don't go out and party and like snort coke and like have a good time. You just feel like that they are sort of stand-ins for like the sort of the androgynous elite. How else would you say
Yeah,
it? Androgynous,
I love that
sanitized,
episode.
acceptable for
Yeah.
HR. And when I saw this episode, I
Interesting
said this.
picture.
I said this is like the artistic depiction of my two of my articles, right? Why is everything liberal? And liberals read, conservatives watch TV.
Oh,
And
interesting. I didn't realize. Okay, so both of those. What?
which
Yeah,
one did
what
you
was it
think? Which
about
one did you think
this?
it was? I was talking about because I told
I
you
thought you were
before.
talking about liberals read, conservatives watch TV. That's the one I
Yeah,
thought you had
it's
said
actually
that they
more
should have
what
really do.
it's actually more why is everything liberal, right? So like
Mm,
so they come together. So the story is that these ATN, the conservatives, the Roys, the main people of the family, are going to buy are trying to buy this like liberal media empire, right?
mm.
Like the Schultzbergs or something, right? Who is that? The name of the New York Times family, the Schultzberg
I don't know if that's like what they're supposed to be. Like that
Schultzberg?
family is supposed to represent the New York Times family, though.
No, not
But
necessarily the New York Times family. It's hard to think of like a liberal media family, like the Murdochs. Like the ATN is the Murdochs.
yeah,
They're not they're like there's do we have like an equivalent to like the Murdochs in Army? I don't think we do. Um,
could be CNN.
but like
Like Ted, what
like
Ted
Ted
Turner
Turner? Yeah,
could be. I don't know though. I
is
actually
he
don't know
even
his
the owner? Is
politics.
Ted Turner even the owner of CNN anymore?
No, he's not.
Uh,
No, he
yeah,
sold it out. But
and
yeah, I
yeah,
don't.
so
But
well,
anyway, yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's sort of the point. Like that they don't have like there's nobody like the liberal people who own the media are like not prominent enough to be sort of like celebrities. They're sort of it's sort of a class thing where like you're showy,
yeah, yeah.
like you're trying to
It's
prove something.
gauche. It's gauche to be well known and to be in the
So,
limelight that way.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, right. So like this is one difference, right? So it's like I think they're more the Pierces are just the Pierces. Like they're not like there's not like Logan Roy. It's like they have that woman like the matriarch of the family, but it's like
Mm,
they're seen as a collective. Well, the Roys have a very hierarchical male on father on top, and then the kids, right? And then there's clear where everyone stands. Um, and like the way they interact with each other. So like it's like the people who want to so the Roy family they're in it basically for the money. You can tell like it's not like none of them thinks about politics much at all, like very rarely, right? Like they'll make like snide comments about like this or that, but it's not like you ever see them reading the newspaper and being like, oh my god, I'm so angry about this cancel culture or whatever. It just doesn't matter. Like they probably think the
yeah, they
cancel
don't care.
culture. They think it's stupid. They definitely think it's stupid. And if they vote, they probably vote for they probably like Trump. I think Trump is the perfect for their station, right?
Well, I've heard that people like they watch Succession and think that like that's what the Trumps are really like or something like that. Like Donald Trump is Logan Roy, like that kind of thing.
Well, I
You
mean,
know, like
I don't
these.
know. People misinform people because I don't think people would think Trump is like that on top of
Yeah.
things. I mean, I don't know who thinks that.
But I think people watch that and think that like that is like the sort of like twisted mirror of like the Trump family, or like that's like what evil rich right wingers are really like,
Yeah.
behind closed doors or something. But
Yeah. And
yeah,
so this, I mean, so the difference, I mean, but the Pierce family, they don't want to sell it because they have some kind of idea about what journalism is and what it should be. And they do not like ATN, which they see as sort of like a kind of Fox News sensationalist, kind of outlet. And they don't want to be part of that. And this like matters a lot to them. And like, one of them is like, the funny scene where he says,
oh,
I'm going to,
interesting.
he tells, the guy tells Shiv, I'm getting my second PhD in Africana studies at,
At
Princeton, I think is
Columbia.
it.
Oh, was it Princeton?
Well,
Okay.
whatever,
Oh, that
one of
was
them.
cool. Yeah, yeah, one of them.
And she goes, "Oh yeah, ha ha ha!" Instead of taking the 2 seconds to you don't have to take 2 seconds to look things up anymore, right? You'll know stuff, right? And then that offends him,
Yeah.
and that like sort of that sort of causes problems, right? But
Mm,
like nobody in the Roy family is going to go get like a PhD from Princeton in Africana studies, right? They want to be rich, they want to live it up, they want to go out to nightclubs, they want to they want to get drunk, they want to do drugs. They're like normal people. They are like liberals are like unlike normal people in a lot of ways. I think the Roys they fit in to like people who just go into business and like somebody who stuck it rich in like oil or some kind of entrepreneur or something. And the Pierces are not. The Pierces are like rich people too, but they're more like the people who would have gone into academia or journalism. Like this is probably what people in their family do. That one guy keeps getting PhDs, right? Um, and
yeah,
it
it's a more
matters.
sort
The
of
politics.
intellectual cultural life too. I mean, the who's the matriarch of the Pierce family? She's like, quoting Robert Frost
Yeah,
randomly. She remember before the dinner started, she instead of grace, they quoted a line from Shakespeare. The Pierce family was like, yeah, they made all these like very interesting sort of like blue-blooded references. There was let's see, guests were served a cocktail called Hank Pierce's Brake Bumper, which was supposedly a recipe stolen from Teddy Roosevelt's valet.
yeah, right,
So
yeah,
it's like all of these kind of like obscure cultural references, like, oh, here's this cocktail that only we know about because it's linked to Teddy Roosevelt, and like that. I think like that was an interesting case where the Roy family was an audience surrogate into like this very like old like WASP blue blooded family.
yeah,
Um, that really doesn't seem to be like they're either dying out or they're just not in the limelight as much as like more prominent wealthy families. Um, but yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Well, the kids
I'm still
themselves are
trying to.
educated too, though. They're not
Yeah,
like
it's driving
dumb
me crazy
people.
because he did get a book. He got a book, and he was like, "Oh, another one of these," and it was like a MacArthur biography. It was a pet, something like that. Um, the other one, Connor, is like he's like a libertarian. He's into libertarianism. He likes
Mhm.
Napoleon, right? He's intellectual, but he's like his interests are different from like what the Pierce family. He likes war. He likes libertarian. He likes like these are like masculine things that he likes, right?
Yeah,
These are very
yeah, yeah. That's
and the
true.
Pierces are more
He
like
bought
people
Napoleon's
and truth.
penis.
Yeah, exactly. I looked up Napoleon's penis, by the way. It's a there's it could be real. Like there's Napoleon's penis keeps getting sold, and it's like nobody knows
Yeah,
if it's real or not. And I think it's miss it. Wait, no, it's somebody owns it right now. A urologist owns it.
Connor Roy. Oh,
Yeah,
urologist owns Napoleon's
yeah.
penis.
Bought it.
Yeah,
Uh,
and Roman Roy made the joke that next he's going to buy Hitler's nutsack.
yeah,
So yeah, this is but the kids
yeah.
themselves. So I looked up I tried to track down where they went to college. All I could find that was confirmed is that Kendall went to Harvard. But that was it. And he went to some like prep school before that, when he
Tom
was a
went to
boy.
Cornell, didn't he? Did Tom go to
Oh,
Cornell?
right. Tom went to Cornell, which is,
Yeah.
that was funny. That was a funny
Uh,
little detail they added for him. Um just like Shane and White Lotus, Andy Bernard in The Office, they follow the trope of like Cornell being for the sort of like
yeah.
striver, insecure, not quite a member of the the in group, the cool group. Um,
By the way, is
and
Shiv
yeah,
Roy? Is she fat? I can't tell. Or is she in shape? I can't tell from the show. Who's the real actress?
I think
It's
she
hard
just
to
has like
tell.
a sort of a what is it mesomorph? Is it a mesomorphic body type? Just kind of a heavier, or big boned, I think they used to call it. But
She's a big,
I don't think she's fat. I don't think she's fat. Um,
like Hollywood fat. Like that's what I'm trying to.
Hollywood fat maybe, but like, dude, if you saw Shiv Roy in like public life, you would think like, oh, that's just like a normal American girl. Maybe actually
Yeah,
kind of
much
thin.
better than a normal. No, no, she's much better
Yeah,
than
I
a
was
normal
gonna
American
say
girl.
like,
In politics, well, yeah, by
yeah.
far. But like, anyways, so yeah, what were we talking about? Uh,
We were talking about the Pierce family and
yeah,
books and sort of the highbrow culture of the family. And yeah, I mean, I thought it was well, at one point Logan actually calls the Pierces, he refers to them as those blue-blooded fucks, which to me, like I found that an interesting line because Logan and like the whole family, like the whole opening sequence of Succession is like they're on this estate and like the kids are dressed very properly, like horseback riding and like very like
yeah,
shown to be like raised in this very upper class milieu. And then
mhm.
like, but you can like Logan, you
Yeah.
can see that he
He's an
has this
he's an
sort of
immigrant. Isn't he an immigrant? He came from like wasn't he Scottish? And he came to the U.S. and had nothing basically.
yeah, he was a raised in like poor working class Scotland and like built the empire himself and seems to have like some he holds on to some sort of bitterness from his class origins and yeah like saying terms like those blue-blooded fucks and like they drive by his childhood home and he refuses to get out and like that may not necessarily be because of class because there were signs I think in season 1 you see Logan climbing out of the pool and he had all these scars on his back, which I think were to indicate that like he was basically abused as a kid. And I guess
Wait,
like,
what?
the viewer is
What
supposed
happened?
to yeah, this was
What?
I think the end of season 1. He climbs out of a swimming pool and there's all these scars on his back. And I think the viewer is supposed to infer that maybe part of why Logan is who he is because he was, brutally mistreated. And he makes reference to this throughout the show too, of like, I know things about people that you don't know, and that's why I'm able to, do what I do. Um,
Yeah,
so yeah. I mean, he had a different, different upbringing than the sort of older generation of the Pierce family, right? That was like generational wealth that
yeah,
that the Roys don't have.
right.
And I've
And
seen this
so
with like there was this article in the Wall Street Journal about what they wear, like these black caps and like the sort of clothes that they wear, and it's like they follow fashion trends basically, and like real like blue bloods don't actually do that, right? Like they have like this sort of timeless, understated, plain quality.
uh,
Um, yeah.
yeah. So so I mean to finish like yeah that episode I think it's just demonstrates like I think this is realistic. I mean I think this is like if you look at like the Murdoch family, you don't see like you don't see like real ideology. You do see like even like the stuff like they say like one of the Murdoch kids is like more conservative and one is more liberal. But it's like a family thing. He's like even like the way that Trump like he Murdoch like I think always like divorces a wife. I don't know how many times has Rupert Murdoch been married. Rupert Murdoch marriage. So this is like a new rich versus old blue blood money, right? I think they're I think that somebody like the conservative side, they're probably likely to trade for a new wife, right? And Logan did that. Yeah.
Mm.
So Rupert Murdoch has had 4 wives. Um, and Logan had 2, and as he cheats on, I think he still cheats on her, with that old woman, what's her name, whatever her name is, that skinny
Marcia?
woman, and then there's a new
Oh no,
woman
no,
too, a younger
Rhea.
woman. Yeah, there's Rhea, but there's he's sleeping with another woman. They heavily imply it's never proven. Near the end of season 3. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't.
the black haired assistant, and like he shows her a
Oh yeah,
meme at
yeah.
some
I don't
point,
remember
and
her
they're like,
name.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're supposed to think, yeah, he's sleeping with her too. Um, and
Oh,
so
so
yeah,
so
I mean, it's yeah,
the
it's the idea that like the conservatives, like the conservative, quote unquote conservatives, I mean, they're really non ideological, are sort of in it for business and family stuff and normal stuff and to make money. And sort of the liberals are sort of trying to cultivate some kind of image to themselves of like being above it all, right? And that's like everything from like not divorcing you, not trading away your wife, that's to collecting degrees and like worthless subjects, to having sort of an understated manner, an understated fashion, and but also
Shabby
like
chic. The
but
New
also
Yorker
even like the
called
way
their
you like
fashion
even
shabby chic.
yeah, but even like your journalism, like your journal, like they're the kind of people who like don't care if they don't sell as many papers. Like they could do more sensationalist stuff, but they want to do like ProPublica kind of stuff, like reporting on what's going on. So they're not like which you think you see like with the Roys, you think whatever like is going to make the most money, they would run with whatever works there. Um, and so this is I mean this is elite conservatism and this is elite liberalism. I think in exaggerated form, and I think that episode is just a beautiful it's just a beautiful demonstration of it.